It was that suspect archaeologist Oubier. Professor Oubier?
Yes? Who are you?
My name is Stobart. George Stobart.
I thought that face was familiar. Remember me, George? Duane Henderson.
Hi, Duane. Just a moment. I have a few questions to ask the professor here. What are you doing in Quaramonte, Professor?
Seeking Mayan artifacts. Central American history has been my life's work.
Can you tell me anything about this stone?
Where did you get that?
This is the stone my girlfriend called you about. The stone that nearly cost Nico her life.
I assure you, I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you know about my girlfriend's abduction?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She was invited to your mansion in Paris.
Not by me, she wasn't. I haven't been home for nearly 7 months.
Have you ever employed a Central American butler or servant?
I've never employed any kind of servant, monsieur.
Do you see this label?
Yes. It refers to a company named Condor. What of it?
I traced that company here, to Quaramonte. Do you know where I can find the offices of Condor Transglobal?
The company no longer exists. They went bankrupt recently.
I have proof that you are directly involved with Condor.
I used them as shippers to transport artifacts to a gallery in Paris. Beyond that, I have no connection with the company, which, as I said, no longer exists.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Yes, I know him. In fact, if it wasn't for Karzak, I wouldn't be here.
What?
He's financing my expedition.
Can you identify this statue, Professor?
Oh, yes. Tezcatlipoca, the Lord of Darkness.
A Central American god, right?
A supreme deity. Tezcatlipoca means, literally, smoking mirror. There. You see the mirror shield in his left hand? The Mayans believed he could look into the mirror and see into the hearts of men. He was the wind which came howling in the night in search of victims, and victims they gave him by the thousand.
Human sacrifices?
Men, women, children, animals, anything that bled. The steps of his temple ran red with the blood of sacrifices. The Mayans have a legend that says he'll return one day. I hope I'm not around to see it.
Tell me about your wife, Professor.
Please, I don't want to talk about her.
Maybe you don't, but I do. Why was she known as the Little Dachshund?
It was just a silly pet name I used to call her. Somehow some damned reporter found out.
Take a look at this, Professor. What have you got to say about that?
Where did you get this?
Never mind that. How do you explain these withdrawals?
I left my financial affairs in the hands of my secretary.
Including the withdrawal of funds in cash from your personal account?
I trust Gwyneth implicitly.
And why Marseille? Why the very place my girlfriend was taken?
That's obvious, Stobart. We are both the victims of the same devious plot.
What plot?
I have no idea.
Do you know anything about this eclipse, Professor?
Of course. It's not the reason I'm here in Quaramonte, but I'm looking forward to seeing it all the same.
What's your interest in the eclipse, Professor?
Oh, it's purely a layman's curiosity. History is my subject, not astronomy. But I've been fascinated by the movements of the heavenly bodies since I was a child. I wouldn't miss a total eclipse for the world.
Does the eclipse have some special significance for you?
For me? No. For the ancient Mayans, it marked the end of the Fifth Age.
Perhaps we should be celebrating.
Ah, no. The end of each age heralds destruction on a global scale. The fifth is the final age, ending in the total destruction of the Earth.
Would you like a biscuit?
No, thank you.
You should, they're good. I can't get enough of these things. It was Pearl's husband, Duane. Are you still working for... you know who?
Who's that, George? You know I'm retired.
Oh, nothing. Forget it. I confused you with somebody else.
Oh, I do that all the time.
I spoke to Pearl earlier.
Yeah? Did she mention that we had a kind of falling out?
Yes, she did.
She'll get over it.
Do you think the General was involved with Condor?
Hell no. And if he's a general, I'm a Buddhist. No, that fella's just a mouthpiece for the real power in Quaramonte.
Do you know anything about a shipping company called Condor Transglobal?
I never heard of it, son.
So the General is nothing but a puppet?
He's like Pinocchio before he met the Blue Rinse Fairy. Strictly strings and wood.
Who's pulling the strings?
His mother. Better known as La Presidenta, the dictator.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Sounds like a comic book villain to me, son.
He's the man behind Condor, and the rat who kidnapped Nico.
You know, the first time I met you, I was deeply impressed with your naive simplicity. I said to Pearl, if we ever had kids, I would have wanted a boy like George. But I underestimated you, son.
Did you drive all the way down here?
Hell no. Pearl did the driving while I followed the maps. The way she handled the wheel, you'd think she'd been trucking half her life.
What's in the truck, Duane?
Oh, just camping equipment. Sleeping bags and tents. Me and Pearl always hankered after a taste of the great outdoors.
Aren't you worried about camping out in a tropical jungle?
We had a trial run in West Virginia. This'll be a breeze in comparison.
Did you know that traditional music is illegal in Quaramonte?
Is that so? Seems reasonable to me.
No, really. The leader of the band in the square has been imprisoned just because of the music he played.
I don't know who you've been talking to, but that fella, Miguel, he's an agitator.
What's the real reason the musician was imprisoned?
Handed out subversive literature at the mines. That so-called general was waiting for Miguel when he got back into town. Marched him off to jail at gunpoint on a charge of inciting a riot.
Would you like to borrow my lucky piece of coal, Duane?
What's so lucky about it?
Well, we made it to Quaramonte in one piece.
When you've been here a few days, you won't look on that as luck.
Would you like a biscuit, Duane?
Oh no, those gourmet dog snacks bring me out in a rash.
You've tried them?
They were on special offer. Pearl bought a whole crate. When I asked her if she was thinking of keeping a dog too, she just laughed.
What do you think of these panties, Duane?
Lord, hot stuff, George. You buy those for your girl?
No, a guy we knew in Paris bought them for her.
Oh, you're a threesome then. Why are you looking at me like that, George?
Forget it. I hear you drove all the way to Quaramonte. In a truck.
That's right. You would not believe the state of some of those roads. Makes me downright sad to think there's still some places you can't reach in an automobile. In this day and age, you'd think there'd be decent highways just about anywhere folk choose to go.
Have you met the guy who calls himself the General?
No, I haven't. Is he a real general?
I guess so. He wears a lot of medals on his chest. The wrong side of his chest. At least for any army I'd ever seen. Catch you later, Pearl. Tell me about the General. You know, the guy in charge around here.
We don't want to talk about him, senor.
How come? No one can hear you. Well, Only that old goat.
In Quaramonte, we have a saying, don't tell your old goat what you don't want your wife to know.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
The stairs led up to the balcony. Hey, Nico!
Hola, señora.
Hi. We were wondering...
I was talking to the lady, Chico.
Hi, my name is Nicole Collard.
Concha Garcia. How can I help you, sister?
The corporation I represent is considering a major investment in Quaramonte. Your advice, as the head of an obviously successful concern, is precisely what I'm after. My assistant, Mr. Stobart, has a few questions he'd like to ask you.
Can you tell me about the accident at the mine?
Accident? It was sabotage. Somebody wanted my mine closed down for good.
Do you have any evidence that the mine was sabotaged?
Not yet, but I'll get to the bottom of it. There'd been trouble at that mine for several months. The workforce was getting smaller every day. Someone had started a rumor among the men that the mine was cursed. Now the entire operation has been closed down.
Where's the site of the mine?
Several days upriver at a remote area known as Teoculcan.
Do you know Professor Oubier?
Yes. I understand he is about to embark on an archaeological expedition. He hired some equipment from me earlier today.
I overheard him talking to the General. I think they're working together.
What? If I'd known that, I wouldn't have hired out the equipment. Now, why would the General be interested in an archaeologist?
Have you heard of a man named Karzak?
No? Who is he?
He's the reason we came to Quaramonte. We think he's running a drug ring.
Well, I hope you find him, but I've never heard the name before.
Do you recognize the icon on this label?
Condor Transglobal.
Did the company operate here in Quaramonte?
Yes, they ran an old container ship, the Mayan Princess.
Do you know who owned Condor Transglobal?
I've no idea.
Does this stone mean anything to you?
I think it is a spirit stone carved by a Mayan priest, no? I don't know which of their many gods it represents.
Can you tell me anything about this statue?
It is Tezcatlipoca, the god of death and pestilence. That fetish would be considered by many to be a bad omen.
You see this? It's my lucky piece of coal.
What's so lucky about it?
I'm not sure yet.
Nice bones.
Have you heard about the forthcoming eclipse?
I don't take much interest in things like that. One of the boys might know about it.
Would you like a dog biscuit?
Would you like a smack in the mouth, Chico?
Would you be interested in these panties? They look about your size.
Is that your best line, Chico?
I'm serious. They were an unwanted gift.
Put them away before you get overexcited.
It was Conchita, the owner of the mining company. I had nothing else to talk about. It was a store cupboard.
Keep out of there. That's where the explosives are stored.
The door led back outside to the market square. It was one of Conchita's posse of hunks.
Hi. Good afternoon, and welcome to Consolidated Mining. If you are planning to stay in Quaramonte City, may I recommend the Consolidated Mining Experience, an interactive hands-on tour of one of our deepest mines, with talking tour guides available in 3 different languages.
A tour of a mine.
Well, this is a mining company. What else did you expect?
Do you know anything about the eclipse that's due soon?
Me? No, senor.
Do you know where I could find Senor Karzak?
No, senor.
How come you're not wearing any pants?
I feel more alert without them. Kind of perky.
And your boss doesn't mind?
She suggested it.
A disgustingly handsome man. Are you looking forward to the eclipse of the sun?
Not especially. Are you?
I don't know. I've never seen one. All I know about eclipses is that you shouldn't try to view them with the naked eye.
Please, go away and let me get on with my work.
Ever heard of a guy called Karzak?
Can't you see I'm busy? If I don't finish this stock report, the boss will be mad as hell.
I couldn't understand why the female owner had surrounded herself with men like this. Did you know there's an eclipse of the sun in a few weeks' time?
Yeah, Joe told me about it. He's having a party and we're all invited. Me and the boys are dressing up as evil monks.
Yeah? Cool. Ever hear of a guy called Karzak?
No, sir.
The guy was working away like an automaton. Do you know anything about the eclipse?
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I heard it's going to be pretty spectacular.
It's in a few weeks' time, isn't it?
9 days.
Thanks. Ever heard of a guy called Karzak?
No.
Mr. Henderson had a strange look of determination on his face. Maybe I'm wrong, but you seemed kind of evasive when I asked you about what you had in that truck before.
Damn right I was being evasive. I couldn't talk in front of the foreign national, see? George? I'm on a top-secret classified mission for Uncle Sam. This truck is a rolling bomb. 400 pounds of nitrate fertilizer with a plastique initiator. They'll hear the bang in China. Gee, I'm really looking forward to this.
Is Miguel the reason you're here?
Pretty smart, George. I was supposed to make contact with him. By the time I found him, though, he was in jail. I've been trying to figure out a way to get him out since then.
Sounds good to me. Count me in.
Good man, George. All I need is a detonator.
How come you brought a truckload of explosives but no detonator?
Call me old-fashioned, but I say packing trunks is woman's work. I left the packing to Pearl, and I can't find a darn thing. Just hope she remembered to bring my denture polish. I'd sure hate to arrive back in the States with tar on my teeth.
Have you really never heard of Condor?
Of course I have, son. Matter of fact, it was old Duane's investigations scared him off.
Did you find any evidence of Condor's drug smuggling operations?
Drugs? Hell no! Condor was a cover for the illegal export of Mayan artifacts.
So who was behind Condor Transglobal?
It was registered in the name of Edan.
Did you get the guy?
I don't think he ever existed. Edan backwards spells Nady, Spanish for nobody.
He was a friendly-looking guy. Hi, I'm George Stobart. What can you tell me about the mining company?
The General closed down one of their mines after the explosion. Lots of folks lost their lives. I was lucky. I only lost my legs.
Do you recognize the design on this label?
Why, sure. That's the Condor Transglobal Shipping Company logo.
Do they have an office in Quaramonte?
No, but they ship out from here.
That's what I thought. Did you see the ship with the Condor flag?
No.
But the dock is just the other side of the square.
Might as well be the other side of the moon.
Have you heard about the eclipse of the sun?
Sure, I'm having a party to celebrate it. Drop by.
Really?
Sure. Plenty of food, plenty of wine, and everyone's invited, except the General.
Why don't you want the General at your party?
Because if he comes, he'll bring those damned music albums from the 70s.
Can you tell me anything about this stone?
That's obsidian. It's a volcanic rock which has cooled so fast that...
Yeah. Look, I'm not interested in geology.
You're not? I suppose you want to know about the carved picture on it.
That's right.
Then the guy you should talk to is the professor. He was here a while ago.
What do you think of these panties?
Awesome. You wear them?
No. Someone sent them to my girlfriend.
Thoughtful.
Do you know what this statue represents?
Should do. I used to carve things like that to sell to tourists. But it scared people around here, so I stopped.
Did you know that the truck was full of explosives?
Whatever gave you that idea, as if I couldn't guess?
Your husband. He was exaggerating, wasn't he?
Sometimes I wonder how I'm gonna cope with Duane's over-fertile imagination.
Do you know where I could buy a detonator?
Did Duane put you up to this by any chance? Oh, I get it. This is to detonate the truckload of explosives, right?
Hey, come on, I was kidding. Did you think I was serious?
I know what you boys are like when you get together and make plans. Duane says he could solve all the world's problems if he had enough missiles.
Catch you later, Pearl. Of detonating device in stock?
Sure. They're kept in that cupboard.
I don't suppose you have one spare?
I can't simply give you a device like that, not without a damn good reason.
The General has a chart in his office, which he was discussing with Oubier.
Perhaps that chart will tell us where they're heading.
Maybe, but I can't get anywhere near it while the General and his sidekick are there. Could you distract the General while I took a look at that chart?
You're kidding. Did you see the way he was leering at me?
Yeah, You'd make a great snake charmer. Come on, 5 minutes is all I need.
Well, maybe. But it's your harebrained scheme. You do the talking.
My girlfriend has a favor she wants to ask you, General.
For you, my dear. Anything.
I've changed my mind.
Oh, no, you haven't. She's embarrassed about asking you for an interview, General.
An interview with me? Fabuloso!
Well, I want to write a story about you.
You hear that, Ronaldo? An exclusive glossy spread about your beloved General.
Si, Signor General.
Look after things here. I'm going back to my apartment and I don't want to be disturbed.
I'll get you for this, George Stobart.
Don't worry. If you're gone for more than a couple of hours, I'll come and get you.
A couple of hours?
No, Signor. The General said nobody must see that chart.
He won't know unless you tell him.
You don't know him, Signor. He will worm it out of me as easily as he de-waxes his ear.
Okay. I'd have to get rid of him.
Hey, leave alone.
I'd like to visit your prisoner.
Condemned prisoners aren't allowed visitors.
Condemned?
To death. He is to be executed. Knowing my luck, I will probably have to shoot him myself.
Amnesty International is going to hear about this. I thought Miguel was arrested for playing the wrong kind of music.
Si, Signor, he was.
And that carries the death penalty?
No. You think we're crazy? While being questioned, he confessed to being an anti-government agent.
Would you take my friend to the ruins now the General's gone?
I'd be honored, Signor.
Thanks. I'll go get her. I've made the arrangements for your visit to the temple, Pearl.
Oh, that's just great, George. Why don't you come too, honey?
I'd love to, but right now I have to save the world.
Listen, sweetie. I'm looking for an official guide to take me to the old pyramid.
For a lovely lady, I would go to the ends of the earth. For you, I will go as far as the pyramid and back. But what about your husband?
What he doesn't know won't hurt him. Let's go, Beanpole.
As Pearl and Ronaldo set out for the ruined pyramid, I prepared to search the police station. Like a geological survey map showing the land to the southeast of Quaramonte City. About 60 miles inland and upstream was an area marked Teoculcan. Someone had thoughtfully provided little shades for the light bulbs. The rest of the prison area looked like an English public toilet. I couldn't reach the light. It was a length of rope, knotted in a hangman's noose. I couldn't reach the noose. It was Miguel, the musician. I'm George Stobart. You're Miguel the musician, aren't you?
Ex-musician, senor. My career is finished.
Going to jail could be the boost your career needed.
Senor, I would rather die than live with this shame.
Have you heard of a guy called Karzak?
Yes. The old man spoke of him.
The foreigner? Professor Oubier?
That's right. This man Karzak is Oubier's boss.
Why is that noose hanging from the bars?
Ronaldo strung it up for me to hang myself. Don't cry for me, Senor Stobart. When I am dead, the goddess will take my soul to rest in paradise.
Chart in the police station. It's a map of Quaramonte.
Does it tell us where Oubier is heading?
Yeah, a place called Teoculcan.
That's the site of the mine. I wonder why they're being so secretive about Oubier's plans. One thing's for sure. If the general's involved, they're up to no good. I'd like to talk to that musician Miguel. Take the detonator and get him out of that jail.
Here is the detonator, Duane.
Keep your voice down, George. You want everyone to know. You'd best go and warn Miguel that the U.S. cavalry's on the way.
Okay. It was Duane's truck, packed with high explosive, according to that amiable old paranoid. Reminded me of the time I was in Syria. But that's another story. Stealing trucks wasn't my style. Miguel!
What is it? What is happening?
We're getting out of here.
Who's we? They've sent the Delta Force?
Nope.
The Impossible Missions Force?
Don't make me sick. Much better.
Who then?
A retired greetings card salesman from Ohio.
I'm doomed.
You're not the only one.
I should have known you'd be trouble the moment I saw you.
Look, I can explain everything.
Get in that cell, now.
And what if I refuse?
He'll shoot you.
Okay, here I am, going quietly into the cell.
Very wise, North-Americano scum.
One of the reasons I hate guns so much is the way they make people so damned impolite.
I hope you're enjoying your vacation, Senor Stobart.
Go polish your weapon, Ronaldo.
This was part of your plan, right?
Well, in a manner of speaking, no. I was all out of ideas. It was up to Nico now.
So, here we are.
You've changed.
I thought I would slip into something more comfortable.
The stench of cheap cologne rolled over me like tear gas.
So, what do you want to know about me? Ask and I will answer. I will deny you nothing. I am a very giving person.
How nice for your friends.
Your eyes are glittering like stars.
His damn cologne was making my eyes water. I was running out of sofa.
As spirited as you are beautiful, I admire that.
As long as he admired it from afar. The door represented the escape route. I had to keep him talking. But what about? We had nothing in common. Cutting-edge technology, in 1978 at any rate. I didn't want to watch a lot of tawdry soap operas. A stuffed swordfish. On close inspection, I noticed that the swordfish was peppered with machine gun bullet holes. The General was a real sportsman, and no mistake. A lava lamp, hip in a retro way. I had no doubt the General thought it was hip, full stop. I didn't want the lava lamp. It was a portrait of some thug in a uniform. I didn't want the picture. A tiger skin lay on the floor. The tiger was beyond help. It was General Grasiento in full-on lounge lizard mode. Big fish. Catch it yourself?
Catch it. Fishing poles are for children.
Then how did... Are those bullet holes?
2 magazines on full automatic. It put up quite a fight.
Is that a lava lamp?
Sure, it's more impressive in the dark. I'll close the blinds.
No, don't do that. Not on such a beautiful day. I, love your TV.
Oh, yeah, cool, no? Oh boy, female mud wrestling.
Black tiger skin. You didn't kill it yourself, did you?
Alas, no. I had to import a synthetic one from the United States. It is very comfortable to lie on naked.
Unfortunately, I'm allergic to man-made fibers. Who's the guy with the hat and the fat cigar?
My mother.
That's an impressive hi-fi system, General.
Would you care to hear some music, my dear?
No.
Oh, it's no bother. I don't even have to get up. Ah.
Mom, what is going on here?
Nothing, Mom. I was...
I'm in uniform. And when I'm in uniform, it's...
Madame la Presidente, sorry, Madame la Presidenta.
Now, what is going on here?
Nothing, Madame la Presidenta. I was just showing my friend Nico some of the cool stuff I've got.
Hi.
Good afternoon, señorita. And just what are your intentions toward my son?
Intentions? We were just talking.
How nice. She has good bone structure now. Has she any brains?
She's a reporter.
Is she? And what sort of questions has she been asking?
I'm a freelance photojournalist. I do lifestyle features.
For what sort of magazines?
It looks safest to play dumb with good bone structure. Lifestyle of the super rich and vainglorious. Envy magazine.
Excellent. Raoul, you've chosen well for a chair.
It was pretty obvious who pulled the strings around here. I hope George was making good use of the time I was buying him.
And then it goes, pa 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 pa.
And when you were in this band of yours, you used to play that song for 2 hours?
Yeah, we were really famous at our college. Still, ours wasn't as good as the original version.
I have never heard that song before, yet I have no doubt that this must be true.
Hey! Psst! Hey, George!
Duane Henderson. Boy, am I ever glad to see you. Get to the American consul and tell him I've been imprisoned without charge.
Get real, George. He was the previous occupant of that cell you're in. We're gonna have to use good old American know-how to get you out of there.
Uh-oh.
That, and this truck full of explosives I've got here.
Duane, listen to me. You'll kill all of us.
You're such a naysayer, George. It'll go like clockwork. Negative to negative, it's positive to you gotta get the bare copper wire here. Let me just, damn. Alright, I'll just hook that up. There we go. Okay, just a minute. I've got to get to a safe distance.
Quick, Miguel, hit the mattress.
You have strange customs up north.
Here we go.
Too late.
Are we dead yet?
Horse shit.
What happened to the explosives?
There ain't no explosives. My dumbass supplier must have given me organic fertilizer instead of chemical. All I got here is 400 pounds of lightly fried horse apples.
That's a lovely image, Duane. Never mind, I'll think of something. Solid bars protected the small window. I wasn't getting out that way. I couldn't escape that way. That door looked pretty sturdy to me. The door was locked. It was the lock which held the door fastened. I didn't have the key to the lock. Listen to me, Miguel. You give me that rope and I'll get us out of here. Is there somewhere you can hide from the General?
Of course. My friends have a boat ready to take me upriver. But how are you going to break out of here with just a short piece of rope?
I'm not sure, but I'll think of something.
If your plan doesn't work, will you let me hang myself in peace?
It was the piece of rope which Ronaldo had given to Miguel. Duane was waiting expectantly. I had nothing else to ask him. I couldn't escape that way. Hey, Duane, I want you to tie this rope to your truck and then drive forward. I'd had no idea whether this was really going to work, but I'd seen it in a black and white western. Of course, Hopalong was using a horse and Duane had a 4-ton truck, but hey, the principle's sound.
Anything you say, George.
Please forgive my mother. She can be a little difficult.
Oh, my feet, Raoul! Propose, you idiot!
Don't mind her. She just wants grandchildren.
Don't think I can't hear you, Raoul. I want the worthy successor, and you're not it. Propose now, or I'll do it for you.
Look, Nico, we haven't known each other very long, but... What the hell was that?
I didn't know what was going on, but Georges had to be involved in it somewhere.
I ain't gonna say a thing, 'cause that sweet sound of falling masonry says it all.
Quick, senor, the river.
Huh? Wait! What about Nico?
Georges, what have you done? You only had to sneak a look at the chart, and it's turned into World War III.
No time to explain. Come on!
Don't move, terrorist scum!
You talking to me, Junior?
Yes, I'm talking to you, fat man, and my name's not Junior.
A word to the wise, Junior. You carry on waving that pea shooter in my face, and the next person who sees it is gonna be your proctologist. Savvy?
General, I am happy to report that I have apprehended the terrorists.
You idiot, not them! The other American and the French woman! They're the ones!
When I recovered consciousness, I was alone, washed up on the riverbank. My head was aching fiercely, and my mouth tasted like a swamp. But I followed the sound and discovered a treehouse in a nearby clearing. The contraption consisted of a crude wooden wheel with wooden slats. The machine was broken. Interwoven vines made up what looked like a drive belt. That vine rope could be useful. Perfect for a game of poo sticks. It would have been a shame to tamper with the elegant bridge. The water wheel had been built to provide a natural source of power. The wheel had a rim of roughly beaten iron. The iron rim of the water wheel would have torn the skin from my fingers if I touched it. A wooden box was connected to the nearby water wheel. It seemed to be working just fine. It was a large wooden cross. It was heavy. I guess that was intentional. Two round stones were carefully balanced on a wooden structure. The stones were too heavy to turn by hand. I'd always wanted a treehouse like that when I was a kid.
Hello? Anyone home?
Way of climbing up to the treehouse. It was a pile of damp leaves. It was Oubier's bank statement. I placed the bank statement over the damp leaves. It was the flint statue of Tezcatlipoca I'd found in Marseille. As I held the fetish to the iron rim of the wheel, a shower of sparks cascaded onto the leaves.
Put out that fire. I've got a sick woman up here.
Sorry, Father, but I needed to attract your attention.
Who are you? And what do you want?
My name is Stobart, George Stobart.
I'm Father Hubart. I don't suppose you speak French.
Huh? Why do you want to know that?
I found a young woman with a fever by the river this morning. The poor girl is close to death. But there's nothing I can do for her but pray. I don't understand her, but I think she's speaking French.
Hang on. That must be Nico. What are you doing out here in the jungle?
God's work. Not quite the destination I had in mind when I set out, but well, you know what they say? Mysterious ways and so on.
You didn't plan to end up here?
No. I was on my way to the miners' camp in the north. I was stuck here when my boat capsized on the river.
That's exactly what happened to me. How long have you been here?
11 years.
That's my girlfriend you've got in your treehouse. What's the matter with her?
She's been bitten by a venomous river snake.
But can't you do something for her? There's a cure, isn't there?
I ran on penicillin and morphine years ago, but the local people speak of a root which they believe will counteract the poison.
Where can I find this root?
I don't know, but maybe the shaman at the village can tell us.
Will you show me the way to the village?
Me? Oh, but I can't.
Can't? Nico's life depends on it.
You're right. Of course I should. despite my own guilt and shame. But I can't go as a representative of God with a creased collar.
A creased collar? You mean you put your personal attire higher than the life of a sick woman?
I will not go to that village looking anything but my best.
Give me your collar. I'm sure I can find a way to press it.
Thank you, my son. In the meantime, I must contemplate my sermon.
There was obviously more than a creased collar bothering the priest. It was Father Hubart's collar. He wanted me to press it for him. So there I was, hundreds of miles from civilization, doing the housework for a priest. It's a strange world. The leverage from the cross allowed me to turn one of the stones, but the other one remained stationary. It was a length of rope made of twisted and knotted vines. The vine provided a drive belt to connect the two stones. The press worked surprisingly well on the collar. It was Father Hubart's collar. It was Father Hubart's collar, and very nicely pressed it was, too. Here's your collar, Father.
Thank you, George. You probably think it a little odd of me to make such a fuss.
Oh, no. If I'd been living in the jungle for 11 years, I'd be completely screwy, too.
Screwy? Yes. Perhaps I am. Ever since my last visit to that village.
Do you want to tell me what happened at the village?
I forgot my vows. I let myself be overwhelmed by the beauty of this unspoiled paradise, and in a moment of weakness, animal passion reared its rampant head.
You know, you should be writing romantic novels. Did you experience some kind of a physical liaison at the village?
Yes, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I found myself doing the monkey dance.
I've never heard it called that before. And I didn't want to pry any deeper into Hubart's murky past. Now you've got your collar back, will you take me to the village?
I've still not finished my sermon.
Look, Father, I still don't know why you're so reluctant to visit that village, and it's none of my business. Whatever the reason, it can't be more important than saving Nico's life.
You're right. I must be crazy. We must make haste if we're to reach the village before nightfall.